Hello and welcome to a very special weekend edition. I decided to go ahead and do 2-3 of these in a row just because I'm having fun with it. And this is a Friday. Kids don't have school tomorrow. A lot of stuff going on. Kind of some parties going on in some different rooms. You might hear some ratatouille. Yeah. Yeah, after this, I'm going to get me to that party. Yeah. There's a very small room in here, and in this small room, there is a wiener dog, and there's a rat. And then I have my producer and my assistant producer, my executive producer, my assistant producer gave me this cup to put my tea in. Very fitting. Yes, it's got tea Earl Grey. So, I'm just going to have fun with it today, but I did get some comments, or a comment. Yeah, really. Got 2 subscribers since I started this. I am on my way. So, last thing that I've heard, it seems like this, the person who has commented is very interested in VR. I'm not poking fun or anything. I'm just having a little fun with it. I listen. If you don't know by now, a lot of this show has to do with opinion, and not that there isn't factual basis for a lot of the opinion, and not that I won't present facts and everything, but I like just stating what I think, and hopefully we can get some conversations going with some opposing opinions, same opinions, stuff like that. So a lot of opinion, and today is going to be mostly opinion. So, VR, Metaverse. What better way to talk about the Metaverse than to enter it? So I got my phone. We're going to go ahead and enter the Metaverse. So let me get my Facebook app, Facebook by Meta. By Meta, yeah, we're gonna go in the Metaverse. So open up your Facebook. You can do this at home. If you've got a computer, a Facebook app, you don't have to buy a fancy Oculus. Just open up your app. As long as it says Meta, it'll get you in the Metaverse. So I got my tape here. I'm gonna go ahead and here we go. Okay. And make sure this is good and I can see. All right. Whoa. I almost got it here. There we go. Okay. And I am entering the Metaverse now. Wow. You know, it's almost like real life. This is great. But, all joking aside, VR. Yes, what do I think about it? I think that it's just the latest increment and stuff that's been going on a long time. And forgive me if I step on toes. I'm an adult. I'm in my late 30s. And hey, my kids have video games. I play video games every now and then. I just think that there's possibly a oxymoron in saying adult gamer. It's just, I have been in too many situations where adult men who should be leading their families, there should be that is the role of a man, especially in a Christian household, is to be the leader of the family. You've seen that meme, probably. There's an umbrella and it shows, God, and then it shows the husband, and it shows the wife, and it shows the kids, and I believe that man is not superior to woman by any means. There is different roles that God designed everything to work with in this creation, and if you follow that, there's always exceptions. Okay, you've got people that are men that are disabled. That doesn't mean that they can't find other ways to provide. But sometimes the man is providing, doing everything he's supposed to do, but the woman, his wife, just makes more than him. Okay, doesn't take the fact is that we have roles that we should operate in, barring extreme exceptions. And when we operate in those roles, things work the best they possibly can. Take, for instance, a husband abandons his family. One of those age-old stories where, really, really deep philosophical reasons that he decides to leave his family. Like, I found a young woman that's hot, and I gotta be happy. God wants me to be happy. There's nothing I can't stand more than a guy using God to justify his doing ungodly things. But I digress. So, nothing wrong with playing video games. I mean, there's all kinds of entertainment, and just like anything else, I'm an unconventional believer. I study the Bible. I try to see what God wants through the lens of God's word, and not necessarily the lens of human tradition, of man-made rules and laws and norms and mores and folkways, but God's law, So, anyways, I am gonna go on some rabbit holes in this episode here. So I can't read that. What's it say? Adabracadabra? No. Oh, okay. I'll get to that. All right. So, anyways, I'm still talking about VR. So, when I was a kid, adults didn't play games much. You might get the dad or grandpa there on the Nintendo like a Wizard. If you ever seen that great movie, Wizard, touches on a lot of things. Fred Savage, I believe, which is in every movie. That one of the poor Corys, one of them wasn't in. But anyways, they get on there and they play and they get excited and everything, but it doesn't consume their entire life. They don't spend 50 hours a week. They don't have a second job, and their second job is to play in a fantasy land. I used to come to work every morning, and I had one child, and I had a wife, and I wasn't doing the best at being a husband and father, but the men would talk, and I'm talking, these are men that are leaders of men, because I'll tell you, this was when I was in the Army. So we're not talking about, Supervisor Joe that's kind of meek and, I played a little game yesterday. This is, I played some Modern Warfare. And they talked about playing 6-7 hours a night after a 12, 14, 16-hour shift. And some of the saddest things I heard, that their kids just bother them when they're trying to play their games. The wife wants to talk to them, but they got to play their video game. And so I was a gamer myself. I'll admit. And something happened to me, and I'm not going to say it's anything as extreme as like Viktor Frankl, who says that he learned a lot and he was thankful for being in a concentration camp. I don't think I could have the same outlook as him, but so I was really into Halo. I used to play in Halo tournaments. I had some guys that I would play with. We had, this is back in the day when you would hook up all your Xboxes with your why can't I think of the cables? Anyways, you'd hook up all your cable. I'm really trying to think of it, but it's not coming to my head. Anyways, you hook them all up and you play, you have 2, 3 Xbox, 4 Xboxes together. You have all these people playing against each other, and well, a lot of people didn't show up that day, so we just had one team. We could either play 2-on-2, but we heard that we had a game going on down the street, so we brought our Xboxes, went to this house, and beat these guys so bad they kicked us out of their house. So Xbox Live got really popular, Halo 2 got popular, and I was waking up early in the morning to go play, to play Xbox with, I would play Xbox with with the with the Chinese in the morning. I'm not comfortable making a Chinese an Asian impression right now. Just the climate of things, but I'll play with the Aussies in the evening. I'll do a little bit of an Australian accent. No, not that great. Most of my Australian influence comes from Steve Irwin, which was more like chock-a-block, beauty, what a beauty. And anyways, so I'm working. I cut my thumb off. Yeah, you can't see it right there, but there's a scar that runs from here all the way down here. The thumb was off. It was held on by a little bit of flesh there. The bone was broken and sticking out. There's a little bit of tendon that was cut off sticking out, and it wasn't that bad. I broke it and cut it off, and I felt a little pinch, and I went straight into shock, and I looked down and said, uh-oh. So anyways, I got it sewed up, and the first thing this is how ate up I was. The first thing I thought is, man, I'm not going to be able to play Halo tonight. So months of recovery and a few dozen oxys later, and it's kind of like, I'm not sure his whole story, but Tommy Chong said something like, he got put into prison and had to go cold turkey on the weed, and he noticed a lot of things happening. I don't know if all those things were good. That's maybe not a good story, but yeah, I started hiking again. I started getting out in life. I started doing stuff, and so I'm not gonna harp. And everybody's got their own path. Everybody's got to learn their own lessons, and maybe you're not as an extreme example as I was, but I see that there is a lot of extreme examples, and there's not a lot of growing up and masculine development when guys are playing video games, and it's sad to me when the children are like, well, I'm finally getting to bond with my kids. So instead of face-to-face doing stuff, physically teaching him skills for life, he's on his game and I'm on my game, and we're playing together and we're bonding. No, neither one of you are growing up. Harsh. I know, harsh. But all that to say, this is just the next iteration. They've got us on an opium. They've got us on a drug that doesn't have to be, it's not a pharmaceutical. It's not something that has to be prescribed by a doctor. It's something that there's several ways you might look at this. You might look at there's a very nefarious power that's out to enslave all of us with entertainment, or you might think that there's just some dudes that are super rich and want to get richer, so they hire really smart people that deal with the brain chemistry and psychology and find ways to addict us to these kind of things, and they make lots of money, and they keep us in their product. Either ways, I'm not a big fan. Metaverse is just the next iteration. It takes a little bit further. It reminds me of this song, I don't know who sings it. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like, in the year 2525, if mankind is still alive. Okay, apparently it's called In the Year 2525. I don't know. We'll see. But it says, you don't have to do anything. A machine's doing that for you. Wall-E. You've seen Wall-E, Wall-E in there. I'm already that fat. I don't want to show. Well, I am dieting and exercising right now. I'm trying to get back in shape to be a good example and to not die in the next few years. So yeah, virtual reality. I don't believe I know a lot of people think that a lot of out there things. I believe a lot of out there things. I don't believe that we are in a simulation. I don't believe we're in the Matrix. I don't believe that I understand completely what Alex Jones and Elon Musk say when they talk about this proof that we're in a four-dimensional, simulation and everything. And I think there might be some truth or something to that in these, what I talked about before, spiritual realm, dimensions. Something I didn't say is the sleep paralysis, my own experience. So I used to have starting when I first started to get away from God, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, when I first joined the military, and I had like the Casting Crown song, "Slow Fade." It was a slow fade. I mean, I went from being sold out to God to not really thinking about God, but still having the morality, to not thinking about God or having the morality. And then all of a sudden one night, I woke up, but I was awake and my eyes were open, but I was completely paralyzed. I could hear everything that was going on around me, and I tried to move and I couldn't move. It was terrifying. I didn't know what was going on, and after about 20, 30 minutes of this, I was in a dorm room. I could hear people walking by, and I would try to yell out, and it would just be like, and finally, after about 20, 30 minutes of that, I was able to, I just darted up and was like, ah! And I called one of my friends who has had a seizure, and he's like, "You had a seizure." So we went to the hospital, and I'm like, "I think I had a seizure." And they're like, "No, you had sleep paralysis, no big deal." And that happened throughout my life, off and on again, usually when I was in some pretty dark places, and until I came back to Christ in a period where I hit rock bottom, and I started having some weird. Well, first of all, the house I was in, I'm not going to get into detail, but there was some pretty heavy things that happened there. Something that would attract some demonic activity if it didn't happen because of attracted demonic activity in the first place. And so I started having these weird things, like I would wake up at the same time every night. It was like, I don't remember what time it was, like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'd wake up, and it'd be, sometimes the blinds would be just to the point where I could see the moon, like just through a little sliver. And every time it was either the same time or I could see the same thing. And I would get up and I could feel presence. It's almost like somebody's like right behind your head, like this, like, and then, there's nothing there, but I can feel something there. And then I kept on having these sleep paralysis. I would wake up and I started seeing these videos about how people would talk about how alien abductions, and this is when I first bridged the gap to where alien abduction and demonic activity are very similar. I think they're the exact same thing. And then these people were talking about how they weren't religious, they weren't living for Christ, but the only thing they could think to do was cry out for Jesus. They'd be like, "Jesus!" And these aliens would react. They would feel pain, and it's like, why would they have any reason to react to Jesus? And so I was coming back to Christ. I was reading the Bible regularly. I had a new man experience. I was redeemed and made a new creation. I had died and risen again. And so the one night it was like this is happening over and over again. It was like the final battle. Earl Grey, straight. That's some good stuff. And so it happened 3 times. It was like 3 times that came for me. And I would feel heavy. When I was fighting it, I could feel like heavy. I've heard people, there's a guy that makes art of what he sees when he's in sleep paralysis, and there's dark figures around his room. I never saw anybody, but sometimes I felt stuff, like pressure on my chest, like that painting of the demon on the dude's chest. And so the first time I tried to say Jesus, and it was like, it scared me because I am protected, right? The demons can't touch me. I am a servant to God. And I'm like, trying to say Jesus, and finally it's like, Jesus. And I came to, and it just stopped, and I woke up. I fell back asleep. A little while later, same thing happened. I woke up completely paralyzed, pressure on my chest. Only this time it was like a little easier, and I was like, Jesus, and I said Jesus, and it stopped. And then I fell asleep. It was the 3rd time, and I woke up, and it was like worse than ever. I felt pressure on my chest. I couldn't move and everything, and I just dug down and shot straight up and yelled Jesus, and then I prayed, and I got the Bible out, and I was terrified, and I read the Bible pretty much the rest of the night, and I think it was Ephesians. Not that that's any particular significance, but so that was 7 years ago. And for it happening on a regular basis, it has not happened since. So, yeah. Take that. Take it however you want it. Adrenochrome is something we'll talk about later. I just don't have enough time. I thought I was gonna get into more stuff, and I pretty much just ranted on video game players. I don't hate you. I wish people would, maybe get out and work on the old automobile. Maybe do some bring some Hank Hill back to, back to normality of masculinity. I'm not too much into chauvinism. I don't believe in this whole toxic masculinity thing. I think that it's a straw man argument. There is a small fraction, and maybe I've watched a few old Japanese movies, and I guess what's supposed to be the manly guy, the crazy guy, they take that a little too far, So I think that's a caricature, not what us in this Western Judeo-Christian society think of as masculinity, or should think of. Anyways, thanks for watching. There'll be more to come. Probably not every day, but time to come back to reality.